So we've been talking about the games coming out on launch day for Xbox One for a very long time now, and I think the one that we just sort of ignored by proxy almost was Zoo Tycoon. It's like, oh, look at Zoo Tycoon standing there next to Dead Rising, awesome Forza, and you know what? We've got all the games, we've played all the games. Who'd have thought Zoo Tycoon is like the quintessential purchase for Xbox One, you know?
It surprised everyone, I think, when it came into the office and we started playing it. Everyone gathered around to watch Zoo Tycoon, of all things. I think one of the things that was catching everyone's attention was how much of a game there is here.
Yeah.
I think when you look at the screenshots that were released for it, it looked like, oh, this is going to be just a Kinect animal game. You're going to play with play with kids. They're going to, mess around with the tigers and the bears and the giraffes or whatever. And this is going to be kiddie friendly and nothing much more to it. But actually, this is a proper Zoo Tycoon game. It's got a proper zoo simulation game in here. It's got finances, it's got advertising campaigns. You've got to manage the animals, look after them, feed them, clean up after them, hire people, upgrade your facilities. And then hopefully, if you level up the animals enough, you can release them back into the wild. So there's a whole conservation angle to things as well.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's really deep, like surprisingly deep. And I honestly, I don't think anyone expected that. And it's also just like a really nice proof of concept at these early days. Like, what could we get down the line in terms of like theme parks, simulators and stuff like that. So that really interests me. And just, I think one thing that also, I think surprised us was how good Kinect works. Kinect works fairly fantastically when it comes to...
It's certainly a great example of how Kinect can be used for a very light, drop in and out kind of gameplay where you're not constantly having to use it, but just helping to enhance your experience just a little bit. We'll come back to that in a second because you'll be able to see a little bit of that footage running. But what I did want to say was just driving around, we kept on being reminded of playing GTA, which was a weird kind of comparison, but I think it does speak to the visual quality of what Zoo Tycoon has produced. Unfortunately, you can't run over civilians.
You can't run over civilians.
It's one of those little moments that kind of draws you out of the game because the civilians slide out of the way. Not that we expected to be able to run them over, but there might have been another animation.
I kind of wanted to be able to run people over.
Yeah, but that's because you're sick in the head. But here we can see Kinect up and running. This is one of the sensory interaction things. Now, an important point here is you don't have to have these in your game. It's your choice. If you put them into the exhibits, then you're adding Kinect functionality. If you choose not to have it there, there's no Kinect functionality in this game. You don't need to use it if you don't want to. But it's so much fun playing with these tigers, making funny faces, doing actions, and they'll copy what you're doing. Just as fun with the chimpanzees as well. And we haven't been able to test out every single animal, but there are plenty.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. It's sort of, it's very much like Kinectimals. I think it's from the same studio, in fact. And it's just silly. Kids are going to love it. We've found probably too much enjoyment in tigers and stroking tigers and stuff, but that's fine. There's always, it doesn't have to be so serious all the time. There's time for a bit of color and a bit of silliness and a bit of enjoyment in our lives with this Xbox One. And I think this just speaks to Microsoft, like how much variation they've got in this launch lineup. There really is something for everyone, and I think this is going to surprise a lot of people come launch day. Picking it up for their kids and then finding it's 5 a.m. and they're still laying out roads and stuff in their zoo.
Yeah. I think graphically we'd say this is probably just a margin short of what we would consider really next-gen levels of graphics, but we have to compliment the animation. Fantastic animation on every single animal, feels really real. Really real? Yeah, pretty
really
real. Really real. But just wonderful animation, great movement, great interaction between them sometimes as well, which is nice. And then those little Kinect moments give you that really close-up look at them. And again, the way they react to things, the way they react to the water cannon used to clean them, or to when you feed them, or those sensory interaction sensors we talked about earlier, all really, really top quality.
Yeah, no, it's really great. And I think at this point, you're spoiled for choice when it comes to Xbox One stuff, but we really do implore that you give this a try. If you're, maybe want a bit of a rest from the blood and guts of pretty much every other launch title, this is a nice game. You can't run people over, you can't let animals out of the cages. It's just a nice, give them some food, have a nice time,
The other thing is it's a game where people can gather around and enjoy it together. You don't have to be the one holding the controller to be enjoying the game. Certainly you don't have to be the one doing all the Kinect stuff. You could have someone else do that for you if you wanted to. But yeah, the moment-to-moment gameplay is really great. It's deep enough that those who've played previously Tycoon games on PC will still hopefully really enjoy this. There's no reason why you shouldn't. It's got everything there that you would want. And it's just got that Kinect flavour, just that little bit of extra, a little bit of cream on top. It's just a bit of character, a bit of personality that just adds something there. And as I say earlier, it's there if you want it to be there. If you don't need it, don't bother adding those elements to the game.
Yeah, so John, you wrote the review. What did you score it?
I give this one 8 out of 10. I think it really deserves it. I think it's one of the most fun games to have been released on Xbox One for launch. And yeah, you should definitely try it out.